Unmuted.
Go ahead and switch the camera. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. My name is Ollie Upchurch. I am one of Epson's end user account managers here at Epson. I manage what we call the Mid-Atlantic region, which is the Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, DC area. We've included some handouts in the handout section of the platform. It has a map of all of the account reps. So if you have further questions beyond this, please reach out to your dedicated account manager. And there's also some other documents with some instructions on some of the topics that we're going to cover here, things like the printer settings, email settings, directory settings, things like that. So be sure to check that out when we're done and download any of those documents. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So you should be familiar with this home screen, hopefully, from our previous sessions. I'm going to hop right into the whiteboard, and let me find my pen and remote. These are the things we're gonna cover today quickly. Emailing information off of your whiteboard, printing information from the whiteboard. Something that we've been getting a lot of questions about, extended desktop and how to set that up. Sometimes with Windows 11, there's some additional settings you need to take. And then we're gonna look at Miracast and iProjection, two wireless solutions that we can use. So with that, we have a mixed group today as well. So we've got some teachers, we have some staff, as well as some IT folks. For all of you teachers, everything that we're talking about today, all of the things that we're going to do require a network connection. So if your projector is not networked, these features won't be available to you. Well, with the exception of Miracast. Miracast, you don't have to have the projector networked, but outside of that, your projector needs to be networked in some fashion so that we can do these things. So emailing. Instead of just saving your work, like I've already loaded up, you've probably seen this today also if you've seen some of my past demonstrations. We have an animal cell up here. We've done a little bit of work. So you have the option of saving this, of course, back to your USB drive or something like that, your network drive. But in addition, we have an email feature. So we can email this out. You know, maybe there's you can email it to yourself, and then you can email it out to students, maybe who's absent, other teachers, etc., or just keep it as a document that you can save and look back at later. So on your remote, go ahead and hit your menu button, and then on the left-hand side, interactive. I don't know why it's under interactive, to be honest, but under interactive, you'll see mail. Go ahead and tap on mail, and that's going to bring you to this menu right here. And this is where you're going to need help from and the support of your IT staff. So at the very top, mail function. We'll turn that on. It's just a simple on-off toggle right here. Turn that on, and then you're going to need to enter all of your email information, your SMTP server, your authentication, username, password, etc. Once that has all been set up for you with the support of your IT staff, then you'll be able to go ahead and email your whiteboards that you've created. One thing I do want to point out, since we're all kind of interested in security nowadays, one thing that I'll point out is here at the very bottom, disallow address input. Right now it's off, but if we turn this on, your default email address, right now mine's set to me, Upchurch. If we disallow this right here, if we turn this to on, what that'll do is that will only let you send emails to this default email address. You can't input an email address, you can't select one from the internal address book. It'll only send to this default address. Now, why might you want to do that? The way this is set up, anybody can walk into the classroom, turn the projector on, write something on the board, and then email. So it kind of prevents someone just being able to email the world or broadcast to the whole school something that they put up on or wrote up on the board. This way, at least it'll only go to one person. So once that has been set up, we can go ahead and back out of this. And I'm currently attached to my computer. We'll go back to our whiteboard. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. We'll come back to our whiteboard. We've got our animal cell here that we've worked on. In the bottom left-hand corner, hopefully you're familiar with these controls. There's the 3 little dots. Go ahead and tap that, and then you're just going to hit mail. We're going to get another little dialog box here. It has the email address, a subject, the range. Since if we have multiple pages here, you can do all or current. I'm going to go ahead, well, we'll just do all. And you also have an option of sending it as a PDF or that EWF2 file. Hopefully you're familiar with that as well. That's the Epson file format that allows us to come back and continue working on this. Like I can erase, I can move stuff around and continue working with the document as if it was live. So I'm going to leave it on PDF. I'm going to go ahead and hit send. You'll get a little dialog box sending, and then that will disappear here in a sec. We'll come back to, we'll look at that email later once I come back to my laptop. And that's basically it. That's how easy it is to email a document. So now this is in your email. You can send it out to students. You can upload it to Canvas if you use Canvas, something like that. It's a pretty handy feature. So printing. Along the same lines, we'll come back to our menu on our remote. Again, your projector and your printer will have to be on the network to do this. So menu, again, interactive menu on the far left, print right here, and then option network printer, and then the printer IP address. So you'll need that. Add that in. Some of these other little settings are just default. Return. And then you'll get once you set that up for the first time, mine's already set up, you'll get a confirmation saying, okay, it's good. And then we can come back to our whiteboard again. And same method. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you hit your 3 little dots. We've got mail, save, print. You'll go ahead and hit print. And then same dialog box again. What range do you want? All, current, size, et cetera, et cetera. You hit print. It'll spool for a sec. It'll go ahead and send to the printer, which I have actually one of our printers connected over here to the side. We'll give that a sec to print out. Looks like it's coming. Let me see if I can drag this printer over. Yep, it's already, well, too late. It already spit out, but I don't know if you can see that. Here is our little animal cell, as well as the little, my notes that I had written on the first page. So from here, you can hand this out to the class, hand them out as study sheets, whatever you want to do with them. But kind of a handy feature to be able to print some of the work that you've done in class. And where did I hide my remote? There it is. Okay, so that was just a couple quick steps. In the handout section, there are detailed instructions on how to go through the menu system and input those settings. So from here, let's go back to, whoops, I went to our whiteboard again. Let's look at extended desktop. So from here, I'm going to go back to my laptop. I'm currently in a mirrored state on my laptop. Now, in the handout section, there's also a document. I'm going to pull it up on my computer. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this. Whites with the lighting and the camera tend to get blown out a little bit. But when you enter extended desktop, sometimes you need to do some extra settings in Windows 11 to be able to get your interaction and touch to work. So if you find that you like to use extended desktop, you're playing a video for the class, maybe you're working on grades or emails on your laptop, you can still do that. You can split your screens, sorry, not split your screens, extend your screens, and have one thing on the board and one thing on your laptop. So to do that, and if you switch to extended desktop and you're noticing you're not getting touch input or something like that, you'll need to go through these steps. So from your settings menu, if you tap the little Windows icon and then go to settings, you'll go ahead and search for calibrate. And then you should get two options, and you might not be able to read this, but the option you want to use is calibrate the screen for pen or touch, okay? And again, this document is in the handout section, so you'll be able to grab that. So simply follow through these instructions, and for those of you that have the touch module installed, you'll need to do this twice. Once for the pen, and then a second time for the touch input, okay? So it's a very easy process. Just go through here, calibrate screen for pen or touch. You'll get this next little window. You're gonna wanna pick the Epson projector. You'll hit setup, and then calibrate, and then just keep following the prompts. And then it'll ask you to touch the screen, and then it'll say completed. And actually, before we get that, you'll get this screen right here. What type of screen do you want to identify? Pen input or touch input? So start with the top one, pen, get your pens going. And then if you have the touch module, once this is complete, come back and do it again for touch input. And then you'll see a completed screen at the bottom saying you're successful. And then you'll be able to use extended desktop in Windows 11 and maintain your touch with your pens and your hand if you're using the touch module. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. So again, that handout is in the document section. So now let's talk about Miracast. I don't need my remote anymore. And for this, I'm gonna swap computers here. I have two devices. I've got a Windows laptop and a MacBook. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what it looks like once it's connected, but give me 1 sec to swap devices here. Okay, so now I've switched over to our MacBook, and this is eye projection, which we will get into in a little bit. But now I've got my laptop or my PC in my hand, and I'm gonna come back out to the home screen. Again, so you can see all your devices that are connected. This is the MacBook we have up here on HDMI 1. This is our dot cam, which is sitting off to the side. And then in a sec, we're gonna see my laptop once it connects to Miracast. So for Miracast, you'll go ahead and press the Windows button and the K button. And maybe I should have left it connected so you can see this. You'll get a pop-up on the right-hand side here, and it's going to show your available displays. So here's ISG Demo 770. That's the model of our projector. I'm going to go ahead and select that, and you'll see a little connecting message. And then it's going to give you options to duplicate, extend, second screen only, etc. I'm going to duplicate and then back out. Now, on our main screen here, on our home screen, you can see my Windows laptop has just appeared. So this is a live view of everything that's connected. So we can go ahead and switch to that. And now I'm connected wirelessly, and I can still use all of my touch input. I can browse my windows, browsers, run apps, whatever. It works just like as if it was connected with your HDMI and your USB cable. Miracast does not need, it's a direct connection from your laptop to the projector. So the projector doesn't have to be on the network or anything like that. One small drawback with Miracast is there are no security protocols built in. So anybody can log in or anybody can join via Miracast. But as you saw, what happens when I connect with Miracast, it doesn't take over the screen immediately. The only time you would notice, if I was a teacher and I was working up here if I go back to, say, my MacBook, if we're presenting something and somebody joins via Miracast, oh, and my laptop turned off over here. There we go. So if we were presenting something up here and somebody joined on Miracast, it's not going to immediately take over. The only time you're going to see that is if we come back to our menu system here, and then you'll see that device right here. Okay. So that's Miracast. It's built into pretty much all Windows PCs, Windows 10 and above. You'll have that feature. Miracast does not work with Chromebooks. For Chromebooks, iOS devices, Android devices, what have you, we have iProjection, which is a separate free piece of software from Epson that we can use to connect those devices. So with that, let's go ahead and we'll jump into iProjection real quick. Let me disconnect my PC. And to disconnect, you can see if it shows up here. There we go. You can hit the Windows K button again, and then just hit disconnect. And now it's gone. So for iProjection, let me see, do I want to show this? I'm going to show this on the Windows again. So I'm going to go ahead and swap laptops again. Okay, we're back at, oh, and before I forget, I'm gonna go into my email here, and we're gonna take a quick look at that document that I emailed to myself earlier, just so you can get a quick look at kind of what it looks like. So there was my little list, and there's the animal cell that we were working on. So it looks pretty good, and then from here, of course, I can print it, email it, do whatever I like. Okay, so iProjection. So iProjection will work with PCs, Macs, Chromebooks, iOS, Android, almost everything for that. I'm going to go ahead and open up iProjection. When it first opens, you're going to have an option. Quick connection mode, and again, I know this might be a little hard to see, but quick connection and advanced connection mode. We're going to want to use advanced connection mode. And then here's a checkbox you can set for the future so that it always just jumps right into advanced connection mode. So we're going to hit OK. Now from here, you don't see anything. Once you do this, I've already cleared mine, but once you do this for the first time, you won't have to do this process we're about to do. So the projector will just show up right here. You can select it and join. But for this purpose, I wanted to show how you would kind of go about this. So we'll go to manual search. And this is where it gets just a tad bit tricky. You have to enter the IP address of the projector. In my case, I've already done it. before. So this is my IP address right here, 10.193.56.23. So you'll need to get that IP address. A quick way to get that IP address, by the way, I'll leave this, but if we come back out to our home screen, rather than going through the menu system and going to like network settings, drilling down into the IP address, you can hit the connection guide button right here. So we'll tap on that, and then you go ahead and hit the one that I know it says Android and iOS, even though we're working on our PC or our Mac, but just go ahead and hit that one, and then you'll see the IP address right here, 10.193.56.23, okay? And we'll come back to this in a second for iOS. So now I'm gonna jump back to my laptop. We're gonna select that IP address, search. Now you can see the projector listed right here. So now that we've done this once, every time you come back into this projector is gonna show up right here as long as it's on. So we'll tap that little checkbox, and then another box right here that you'll also want to connect. It says connect as a moderator. We'll want to check that box. So when you do that, you become the moderator of iProjection. So that gives you the ability to add other devices. So if the students had devices that you wanted to pull and show up onto the board, then you can control that, and you can allow whoever you want to jump on. So we've selected that, we've selected our printers, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hit join. You'll see the screen kind of blink there a little bit. And now we're connected, and then we've got our little toolbar right here. And again, if I jump back out to our main menu, you now see two of my desktops. One is on HDMI 1, and the second one is on the LAN connection, which is the iProjection. Okay, iProjection maintains interactivity, so we can continue to interact with the board, our laptop, or well, it just jumped up over there. I have my extended desktop on. You can continue to work with the laptop with your hands, your pens, whatever. And walk around with the laptop and use your laptop, of course. And for simplicity, I'm gonna disconnect this from iProjection real quick, and I'm gonna connect the Mac just so we can see a visual difference. Disconnect. I want to continue. Yes. Okay. And then I'm gonna fire up the Mac over here real quick. Okay. So now I've got my Windows laptop and I've got the Mac device right here. So another thing we can do is once we have multiple devices, I'm sure, I hope, at least, if I jump back into my laptop real quick, we're all familiar with the split screen function down here, I hope. So when we do it this way, we get our whiteboard and a device, right? Or like if I jumped over to my dot cam, we'll have my dot cam and a whiteboard. But what if we want multiple devices, like a laptop or that dot cam over there? So we'll come back out to our home screen. My devices are still connected, and let me bump my Mac so it doesn't fall asleep. So we've got three devices connected right here. This is the dot cam, this is the laptop or the PC, and this is the Mac. Down here, we have split screen, this button right here. So we'll go ahead and tap that. And it's gonna default to, we can pick 2 screens or 4 screens. I'm gonna go 2 just so we can see it. And now I've got my Windows laptop, and it defaulted over to the first connection, which is the dot cam over there. So under the dot cam, we've got these little, this is actually a 3 LCD engine from one of our projectors. But what if we want both laptops? So down here, you'll see the 4 little squares. Go ahead and tap that, and we'll get this menu. This gives us the ability to select any input we want. And so for instance, we've got HDMI 2 right here, which is our dock cam. But in this case, I want I want LAN input on the right-hand side. I've still got HDMI 1 on the left. I can also select PC interactivity. Which side do I want PC interactivity? Let's stay with the PC laptop. Whoop, that's audio. Let's stay with PC interactivity on the PC over there. And then we also have a little functionality as far as screen size. So let's just for kicks, we're gonna make the left side a little bigger than the right side and then hit execute. And now we've got the Windows laptop on the left. Let me get out of the way. We've got the MacBook on the right, and you can see the size disparity there. So like if we were running a video over here and maybe had a website or some notes over there, vice versa, you can set it up however you like, or we can make them equal or almost equal. The max resolution is just a little different. But now we've got them side by side. And again, I can still control my Windows laptop over here. The Mac I cannot, but I can switch that in the menu system. So that's how when you have multiple devices physically attached to the projector, we can control you can control everything, where the audio input's coming from, which one you want to control, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's the split screen functionality, or splitting devices. Let's see, let's go back to my Windows laptop. And I'm gonna show you real quick. Let me get my MacBook. I'm turning eye projection off on the MacBook. I'm gonna reconnect again with my PC, okay? And then up here, you see this little kind of gray black box with an arrow. Let me disconnect this guy still. Oops, and I closed it completely. Okay. Now I'm going to connect my MacBook. Okay, this little black box right there, if you touch that, it expands. And then, oh, I just killed my laptop again. From this window, we can display other users. So as long as you are the moderator, which in this case I am not, I'm connected as a user, but when you're the moderator, you'll see usernames of all the other devices that have connected, and then you can select them, drag them over into these quadrants and add those users, and then you can display their screens up on the board. And again, the teacher has full control over that, who can jump on and who can jump off. I will say the one issue I've heard with this is with schools that have like issued Chromebooks, for example. The Chromebooks, the name of the device doesn't match the student. So it's like Chromebook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Chromebook 2, 4, 2, 5, whatever. So sometimes it's a little hard to distinguish, who you're actually picking to put up here. But the students have a way to be able to open they can see what their device name is. So that's one thing that makes it just a little tricky, but outside of that, that's how you would jump in and add other devices. And then we can hit that little square that brings us back to this, and then leave disconnects us. So now that student or other device has been disconnected. One other quick thing with eye projection. So with iPhones or Androids, things like that, you can start here with the connection guide from the home screen, and then Android, iOS. Go ahead and tap that, and it'll bring you to this screen. So when you download eye projection for the first time, and I'm going to open mine up right now. When you download eye projection for the first time, there's a button on the bottom hand. Maybe I can get in here. There's a button on the bottom left-hand corner. It says QR code connection. So you'll tap that, and then you'll scan this QR code, and then your device will be connected. And then from then on out, let's go ahead and back out of this screen. And then from there, this is the app. I don't know how good this is going to show up, but now I can see my projector right here. I'll tap that box. I'll go ahead and hit connect. And that brings us kind of to the main screen, and then mirror, and then start broadcast. And then just like the laptops, you'll see the device pop up here in the bottom left-hand corner. So here's my phone. We can open a browser. Well, I don't know, we'll just grab something here. Baseball. Go Dodgers, by the way, in case anybody's out there. And then you can scroll, and it's pretty responsive. What I will say is videos via eye projection, they're okay, right? They're not fantastic. You can see this one running right here. It's pretty good, slightly hesitates every now and then, but eye projection isn't the greatest tool to use for video when you're wirelessly. You can also rotate the phone. So we go back, we're vertical, get a vertical view. Now we're horizontal, right? So you can scroll through, see the videos, you can display anything that's on your phone. So if you have educational apps, you have photos, anything like that, you can display and mirror your device up here. So that's a quick way to use your iPhones and tablets, iPads, what have you. I'll come back out. I just turned my phone off, so my device disappeared. And with that, that is about it. Do we have any other questions out there? For questions, I should have mentioned this earlier, just drop them in the question box, and we will address them now. Or if you have questions, you can also reach out to your account manager. So hopefully that was useful for you. Hopefully you picked up a couple tips. And again, if for more information and questions, reach out to your account manager. I'm going to step into the back of the room here and take a look at some of the questions, and I'll be right back. Okay, so how many devices can you display? So when you're in eye projection, you can display at one time up to 4 devices, so a quadrant of 4. You can have a total of 50 devices connected at any one time, and then you can choose, 4 to display, 2 to display, 1 display, whatever. So yeah, 4 at one time and a max of 50 connected. And then Chromebooks. So yes, Chromebooks are a little tricky. So you can use a Chromebook. You have to use eye projection. The projector has to be, hand this back over here. The projector has to be on the network, and the Chromebook has to be connected to that same network. The way Chromebooks work, it's like a live or a online OS. So if you connect to the network directly to the projector, you lose your internet connection. So you have to connect through the LAN. And with Chromebooks, you're not going to get any interactivity with the device. So it'll only basically be a screen mirror from the device. Hopefully, it looks like we got one more here. So someone asked, is there a cost for eye projection? No, eye projection is a free Epson software. You can go to, and my laptop just turned off again. You can go to the Epson website, go to the product page, and under support in the downloads, there's a free download for eye projection that you can download to use. And I think with that, that's all of our questions so far. So again, thank you for joining, and we hope that was useful for you. Thank you.